Yeah, we spent the time in the last 2 weeks to strengthen the automatism, to become more dangerous in the final zone. But not all players were present, so it was a little bit more complicated. But yeah, I think we are ready for the next game against Dallas.
Thank you. That's it from in person.
Hi, René. Thanks for joining us. We're going to start with Dave Johnson.
Hi, René. Can you just repeat what you just said, or I had trouble hearing it? You focused on being more dangerous in the attacking zone. Is that what I understood?
Yes, of course, it's easier to become more solid defensively than to carry out decisive attacking moves that lead to a goal. But yeah, we scored 4 goals. We have one primary scorer with Baribo. We need more goals, of course. We need more players. They are able to score goals, and it's the most complicated sector, the third zone, to be decisive and concrete. But yeah, we spent time on this sector, and hopefully we learned anything more.
So I guess there's no substitute for that time and that repetition in training. It's not like a switch you can flick.
No.
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 I just answered my own question.
Yeah.
Can you speak to just specifically why, and I think we've talked about this before, with essentially the same players, you are a better defensive team.
Yeah, I repeat, it's easier to become more solid defensively. Offensively, I can give them some ideas how we have to play it. But at the end, you have to take as player the responsibility to be more determined, to shoot yourself, maybe not looking for a next last pass in front of the opponent's goal. And it's not only our problem to score goals. There are many teams in the world. They have more problems to score goals than to defend their own goal. And yeah, we try to do this better in the next few games. And the next chance is this Saturday against Dallas.
And quickly, any injury updates on Herrera or Montenegro?
Both are back in full training, so they are at least options for the bench. Maybe not ready to start the game, but the squad is more complete because of both of them are back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Dave. Next, we'll go with Donald.
Thank you. Hey, René, good to see you. We've talked a bit about the fact that you were away from home for a very long time. I know you weren't too happy with the schedule, but now you're back at home. What do you hope that does with the energy on the team being back in the friendly confines of Audi Field on Saturday?
Yeah, it doesn't mean automatically that we will win this game, but it's more comfortable to prepare a home game. And we try to aim for the next win at home, because it's only the second game at home in front of our fans, and I like to play in the Audi Field.
Great. Thanks, René.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Donald. Next, we'll go to Vikas.
Going off of that, coming back at home, it felt like in some of these away games, the team was focused on staying sort of defensively steady and solid. Is there more of an idea to try to carry the flow of the game, or have the ball more in midfield at home? Does the approach change in any way, or is it going to be a similar sort of game plan?
It always depends on the opponent as well, but of course we try to play a little bit more offensive at home. We have to respect Dallas. They play result-oriented football. To that point, very successful. We've only one lost in an away game in LAFC, so it will be tough. But of course, at home we try to play a little bit more with the ball. We try to attack more and to be more dangerous.
For this FC Dallas team, they've had a lot of goals in their games, both sort of for and against. Can you talk about anything you've seen from them that is going to pose a challenge for us defensively? They have some big, tall forwards, and they like to go direct. What are you going to tell the guys to do to try to counter that?
I will I think we will get our chances to score goals, but how you mentioned it, the two strikers of them, they scored goals. That is what strikers are looking for. It gives a lot of confidence, and we have to be aware and defend well. But of course, I repeat it, we want to play forward and to create chances, and at the end to score goals.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Vikas. Next, we'll go with Bruce.
Hey, René, thanks for your time. Sometimes you're just flat unlucky in this game, and I think the chance creation by Caden Clark that came off the post and hit the keeper in the face and almost went in his own goal. Sometimes you are unlucky, but you got to be happy with some of the chance creation. It's gotten better around the box. Yes.
Yes, it's true, but it was at the end of the last game. It was difficult to create chances against them. I think it was a little bit boring for all fans because not a lot of goal chances from both teams. But right, unlucky at the end with the goal post and the chances we created, and we didn't score.
And I know that one of the biggest things when you came in was you've got to get the defense, you got to tighten them up. Defense is tightened up. Can you talk a little bit to that? It seems to me like there's emergency defending. Players are willing to just leave what they're doing and help double team, things like that.
Yeah, it's less comfortable to defend than to attack, and then you have to do the job for the team success. You can't be selfish. You have to slide in, to help each other, and then you have to try to win the duelings. And less comfortable, but the team is doing it well, and it helps to get out good results. But at the end, we have to try to become more dangerous offensively and to have not only one primary scorer with Baribo, to have other scorers in our teams that can decide a game.
Again, thanks for your time and good luck. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. Next, we'll have Amari.
Hi, Coach. This Dallas team, they seem to create a lot of chances, and I believe they have 10 goals so far. How are they different from last season compared to this season?
I don't like to compare it because I have to analyze, or we have to analyze their style today. But they play very direct in the back of the defense. They play in the half of the opponent. I like it because you don't have to create the danger in front of your own goal. And the strikers, they run there. They do the deep runnings. And we have to be aware. We have to defend it well. And it will be defensively a tough game for our team.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Amari. Next, we'll go with Dennis.
Thank you, René, for speaking with us. I know you don't like to talk about individual players, but in this case, I want to talk about Gavin Turner and all the young players. How can you continue to develop young players like Gavin Turner and many others during your coaching system as a talent and as a teammate?
Yeah, that we do daily. That is the reason why we practicing. To improve the individual skills, then to get the rhythm, the game rhythm. For these you need the matches, of course, but I think the rhythm is higher in our training sessions than before, and it helps young players to become on a better level, and he's a good one, the other ones as well. I'm really glad with the progress they did the last few weeks, and they have to keep it up.
Sean, you're coming off as another solid defensive performance. What do we need to maintain going into a strong offensive side of Dallas?
Yeah, I think obviously with things starting back up, coming off a little bit of a break, I think it's important just to make sure we continue to establish ourselves as a team that's going to be just relentless in what we're trying to do and how we're trying to play. And I think we're continuously building on the identity of the group, and we've seen big improvements. But I think we're a group that is humble, first and foremost. I think, and yeah, it's a new group that's gelled since the beginning of this year, and I think we're just eager to continue on in the way that we have been.
Thanks, Sean. Now we'll move on to Zoom.
Thanks, Sean, for taking the time. We'll have our first question from Dave.
Sean, you just used the phrase, I believe, building on identity of the group. How do you see the identity of the group?
Yeah, I think it's just having a winning mentality and doing anything necessary at any point of the game to come out with the result we want, and that's to win every time we step on the pitch. And I think if we can, exemplify that and make sure that we show that every time we step on the pitch, we give ourselves a fighting chance. And ultimately, the results will be the true tell of where we are and how much we put into games. But I think we're an honest working group. We give everything to each other, for as long as the match is being played, and then during the weeks we build that chemistry so that when we do step out in the match, we can trust each other and go forward and do what we do best.
And you're the last line of defense, but obviously defense is all 11 players out there. What do you like about working with this group as kind of the leader of that defensive group that has brought this team so much success? Take us inside. Why only 4 goals have been conceded in 5 games?
It's a testament to everybody, not just the players who have stepped on the pitch. I think, we have a group that's really pushed the envelope in terms of making sure we understand each other, making sure that we do everything we can, and not just the tasks we're given, but just the extra bit to make sure that we are putting ourselves in positions to cut out danger, and ultimately, making sure we do our best to put opponents underneath pressure and not put ourselves underneath pressure. So I think it's just it really shows how much this group's committed to each other more than anything, and ultimately the message from the top down is just that, to make sure that we do that every time we step on the field.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next we'll go to Donald.
Thank you. Hey, Sean. Good to talk to you again. Throughout the first month of the season, it feels like you guys obviously aren't perfect, but progress has been made. And I wonder, what as a group do you think is the next phase of that progress as you enter April?
Yeah, as you said, no team is perfect. You have your flaws, you have your strengths, your weaknesses. But I think you have a group that's just committed to working on the things that we can improve individually, to add to the collective. It's really just making sure that we're taking accountability and responsibility for ourselves in our own performances. Because if we have a full roster of players that at any point in time can step on the field and bring that same mentality, and bring every player brings something different, right? A different dynamic, different abilities, but ultimately when we do that together as a group, I think you'll start to see us continue to achieve good results. So I think that's been the focus.
It's been a month and a half since you all have been back at Audi Field. Obviously, you return home on Saturday. What does that do to the energy of the bunch as you get ready to be in the friendly confines of home as opposed to being road warriors?
Yeah, I think we've gotten tested. Obviously, tough places to play, being on the road for quite some time. Even playing, in Baltimore, Austin, Atlanta. Whatever the task has been, I think it's made us stronger as a group. And being back at home in front of our fans, to play at Audi Field is special. We haven't gotten a chance to do it more than once this season, so we have to make sure that we go in and obviously continue to do our best, which we have, and ultimately just find it within us to give it a little bit extra, being at home in front of our fans, and the rest will take care of itself.
Great, thanks, Son. Good to see you.
You too.
Thanks, Donald. Next we'll go with Bruce.
Hey, Sean. How you doing?
I'm good, Bruce. How are you?
Good, man. It seems to be a lot of emergency defending at the back, and a lot of blocks. And, it appears to me that players will just literally leave what they're doing when they have to double, get a block in, whatever it is. That communication is a lot better than it was last year. Can you talk about that? You guys talk about that a little bit watching the film?
Yeah, I think it's just a mentality. That's the most important word. And, the defending is a mentality. If you ask the group, I don't think anybody would say that they believe in emergency defending. I think you would get a bunch of guys that said that they're committed to do whatever they can at any point in of the game to keep the ball as far away from our box as possible. And then once the ball enters the box, I think there's just it's got to be a different hunger to make sure that we do all we can to give ourselves a chance on the other side of the pitch as well. And I think that the relationship with the guys on the front half of the pitch and the back half, and as long as we give ourselves a fighting chance in games, we have guys that are going to go out and win us games, and we've shown that we can do that, and ultimately we'll continue to get better on both sides of the ball. But I think just the commitment and mentality of the guys is what creates a good defensive group.
And as a follow-up, in the changing room, have you guys talked about the importance of getting these home wins? I mean, it was so hard to get a home win last year, and you're putting up some really good numbers, results, coming back home. Just the importance of getting that win, and I know how much it means for you guys, and for the Chico stand, for all fans in general, to get those home wins. Can you talk to our audience about what that means to the players?
Yeah, I think everybody should understand that to this group, winning every game is important, and being at home, obviously that's home. It's a place that we have to protect. It's a place that we need to be dominant. But ultimately, I think our mentality every game has been exactly that. It's go out with the mindset that we're going to win. We don't play games to draw. We don't play games to lose. And when you have guys that are committed to doing that, whether it's home, away, doesn't matter where we play. I think we always have to first have that as a base and as a foundation. And like you said, to go back to Audi Field, different energy, having fans rooting for us instead of against us. In so many of the away matches, we've had traveling support as well, which has been tremendous to see the turnout from DC fans in all the away games that we've been to. We've had an amazing following. So yeah, we more than appreciate, value, and respect the fact that people are taking their time out to come support us, and we're making sure that we're giving the same back.
John, good luck. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. Last one we'll go with is Dennis Gomez.
Thank you. And thank you, Sean, for your time. Just wanted to ask, it's been 180 minutes since DC United has been scored on open play, with the exception of the PK, which, it's from the spot. But just wanted to ask you, why are you guys working week in, week out to continue that line in an area that was had a lot of flaws last year?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't here last year. Don't know much about what it was like to be here last year. Like I said, I keep stressing the fact that it's a group of players that's going to establish the identity that we want to have and we want to be known for, and ultimately going out every game, and we're not focused on the stats or the records or the minutes that we're doing things. It's the task at hand, and that's the next opponent, which is Dallas, and we're going out to win that game, and we're going to try our best to make sure that we do all that we can, again, individually, collectively, to get that result. And when we put 100% into games, I think then we can look back at the end once we've achieved something, and no one looks at statistics or numbers or data. Once you win, that's all that matters. So that's what we're focused on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. That's all we got from us. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.